What's happening, people? It's your girl Mina. Welcome back to my channel. You already know what it is. First and foremost, big up to everyone locked in on this wonderful Sunday. I'm saying it's a wonderful Sunday because the sun is out, the sun is shining, and the Premier League season has finally come to an end. What a long season it's been. It's absolutely been such... It feels like the season has been a lot longer than what it actually is. Big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. We've got a little bit to talk about today again. Of course, Manchester United pick up 3 points against the Derby and Brighton at the Amex. That's the first time that Erik ten Hag has beaten Brighton in the league. Number one. Number two, back-to-back wins for Manchester United. Number three, just about, we nearly got a 0 goal difference. Nearly. Other than that, good riddance that the season is over. I want to hear everybody's thoughts. I want to hear what everyone thinks just about what the journey has been for the season. I'm looking forward to seeing what Erik ten Hag says. Big up to Rasmus Højlund for getting on the score sheet today. That's what, 15 goals, 16 goals, all competitions, plus a number of assists as well, and is a good goal. That just further proves my point that he needs a hold-up number 9 and let him be this number 2 striker. But we're going to get to that as well. We're going to talk about the fact that United are not in European football. I was asking earlier today if this is the first time since Moyes, but that Manchester United haven't made European football. But when Moyes was manager, there was no Conference League. So it was only Europa or Champions League. So Erik ten Hag has failed to get Champions League, Europa and Conference League football. Is that a blessing in disguise for Manchester United? I don't know. I think it could be. And obviously Manchester United finished 8th place. Just about hit the 60 mark in points. Further up the table, Manchester City win the league. That's 4 in a row. That's 6 and 7, I think, for Pep. But 115 charges. So I don't give a shit. Excuse my language. Arsenal, I saw the funniest clip, guys, from the Emirates. Somebody lied to someone in the crowd and said that it was 2-2 in the City game, and they started celebrating. That was hilarious. That made me laugh a lot. But big up to everyone. So yeah, City have been crowned champions. Phil Foden, man, what a player. Like, you know, rivalry aside, as a football fan, Phil Foden is an amazing player. Really amazing. 19 goals in the league, no penalties. Let's talk about that. Anyways, no, we're not going to talk about that because we don't really care. But we're going to talk a bit about Manchester United. We're going to talk about what this means for Erik ten Hag officially missing out on Europe. I'm very curious to see what the predicament can be for him. Of course, the FA Cup final is next week. I think we kind of got a glimpse of what we might see in the FA Cup. I think this 4-4-2 system thing is what Ten Hag could try. We saw Varane get some legs in today. We saw Martinez get some legs in today. We saw Ahmad get a start. Alejandro Garnacho, 37th game in a row that he's playing. 37 games. Erik ten Hag is going to run him into the ground. He's really going to run him. In a game like today, where there's not really much to... Like, United are going into this game with no incentive to play well. And yeah, the incentive should be just to get a result, which is understandable. But surely you can rest one guy that you've played for 30 plus games in a row. But yeah, let's talk about today's game. Before that, big up to everyone in the chat. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. I want to hear everybody's thoughts about the season. Today, this stream will definitely not be focused on just the game. It's going to be focused on the entirety of the season and where we find ourselves right now. So, of course, I want to hear everyone's thoughts. So, make sure you lot get involved in the chat. If you want to join the membership club, you can. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You'll get your badges, you get your emojis, you get your custom member content as well. And you get to support the growth of the channel. If you want to support the channel in other ways, you can by sending in super chats, which also supports the channel as well. Big up to Aminor with the super chat. Says, Mina, I'm just so effing glad this shit season is over. I want to give... pure respect for Dallo for doing his job. FYI, I'm not sure on De Zerbi as a manager. We're going to come to the De Zerbi thing because I've seen people saying that then, you know, look what De Zerbi's doing at Brighton. Why would you want that for Manchester United? But I don't think we should judge him on where Brighton are in the league because Brighton is Brighton. With all due respect, they are a mid-table team. All due respect. Last year was they exceeded expectations. This year, off the back of losing Caicedo, losing other players to injury, etc., let's not downplay the way that they play football. Yeah, if we are gonna judge De Zerbi on, you know, being a manager, I'm gonna judge him on not just, you know, where the team are in the league, but also I'm gonna judge him mainly on the way that they play football. Because Brighton is Brighton. I don't expect them to be challenging for the title. I don't expect them to be in Europa spots. Honestly, I don't. So maybe other people might, but I don't. But what I do expect them to see is clear indications of a style of football, which is what you see with them. Today, I'll be real, in the first half, United really could have been down. United really could have been down. I watched the first, until about Dalot scored. Wallahi, guys, I felt like it was a pre-season match. I was watching this like the way that I watch pre-season. And you know what sucks? It's been a couple years since I've watched the last game of the season for Manchester United with real hope and drive and incentive. Like last year I was just like, oh, I want it over with. The year before that I was like, ugh, I just want it over with. The year before that I was like, ugh, just want it over with. This year I think I was paying more attention to what they were talking about on the match view on United view rather than anything else. So let's be honest with ourselves when we talk about De Zerbi. And maybe I might do a stream later in the week, especially as obviously the season's now come to an end. Maybe I'll do something like we could do a comparison stream of all the managers United have been linked to so far and the differences between them. But big up to Aminor with the super chat. I appreciate the contribution as well. Be sure to hit the like button, guys, if you've just come through. Listen, the sun is shining. I'm in a good mood. I'm going to watch Bridgerton after this. If any of you are watching Bridgerton on Netflix, let me know what you think of the new season. I'm going to watch Bridgerton after this. Football is over. I ain't got to stress about Manchester United. Maybe just one more time next week. But my expectations are very, very minimal going into the FA Cup final, especially with City coming off of the back of winning a league title. Today, I saw a team that, for example, Phil Foden and Rodri have been City's probably most important players this season, and who scores for them in an important game? Phil Foden and Rodri. And what a goal Phil Foden scored for the first one. That was such a good strike. Kudus scored a good goal as well. But let's not get too sidetracked. Eric Ten Hag finishes the season in 8th place in the league. Yes, guys, 8th place in the league. Officially the worst position post Sir Alex Ferguson, one of the worst seasons that Manchester United have had, with a minus one goal difference. A minus one goal difference, which I'm laughing at. I shouldn't laugh, but you know, I was watching the Palace game today, and I was like tuning in and out of it. And the way that they play football against Villa, bro, I get it. Villa have Champions League secured, but they battered them 5-0. Mateta with a hat-trick. Mateta has scored 13 goals. Yeah, 13 goals since Glasner has come in. 13 goals. I think he ends the season with 18 goals in the league. That was a ridiculous performance from Crystal Palace. And I'm not saying that Crystal Palace are an amazing team or anything. But again, it goes back to how a manager instills confidence in the players and has them playing in a certain type of way. That for me is the biggest takeaway. Now, I'm going to actually start with what Casemiro said pre-game. I don't know if you lot saw pre-game. He did an interview with Sky Sports, and he said, I was considered one of the best signings of the Premier League last season, and now I'm not worth anything anymore? ? The criticism is disrespectful, so when it's lacking respect, then it's worrying, and I don't have to respect that either. I don't know what rattled him. I don't know where that kind of where that kind of chatter has kind of come from, because I'll be real, Lisandro Martinez could say the same. People were saying he's the most important player last season. This season, people are saying, he's injury prone, etc. I think sometimes, like right now, in this point of the season, for me, there's no need to do interviews. I get it. You have to, a lot of the TV rights, you have to do interviews and that kind of stuff. But sometimes just, I don't see the need for it. I don't really see the need for it. Today's game, I'll be real, there wasn't really any standout performer for me because it was just a snooze. Guys, it's 2-0, yeah? Great. 2 goals. Nice. Højlund getting on the score sheet. Wonderful. Clean sheet. Great. But it was a flipping snooze fest. And you guys cannot say to me that was not the case. because that game actually was boring me. That was a very boring game. And like I said, it felt more like a preseason game than it did anything else. But let's talk about the entirety of the season. Let's talk about the season as a whole. Let's look at it from game week 1 to game week 38. I'm not going to go and individually speak about every single game, but there are definitely some highs, and I'll be real, there's no highs in the Prem. There was no highs for me in the Prem. Maybe that Chelsea game. I'll say maybe Wolves in February when Kobe scored the winner. Yeah, that was a nice feeling. That was a good feeling. But that was a papering over the cracks kind of moment. That's it. But there has been a number of lows in the Premier League this year. There has been a number of lows. Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest, just about beating Burnley 1-0. City twice. Arsenal, Spurs, Crystal Palace. Oh my God, there was a lot of lows this season. There was really, really a lot of lows this season. And like I said before, I'm just very happy that the season has come to an end. I'm very grateful for that. But I don't know how people are continuing to say, trust the process. I'll be real. I don't know how people are saying that. It's one thing to miss out on European football, i.e. Champions. It's one thing to miss out on Champions League football, but to miss out on Champions League, Europa, and Conference League, that's poor. It's one thing to finish 5th. It's another thing to finish 8th in your second season. It's one thing to concede a lot of goals, but it's one thing to have a minus goal difference at the end of the season. Like, I feel like these are factors that a lot of the time we're overlooking. I feel like these are stuff that we are overlooking. When we talk about the season for Erik ten Hag, we're speaking about the injuries. We're speaking about, the disciplinaries. We're talking about, him bringing in players from the academy. He was going to do that regardless. Garnacho was going to come through the first team regardless. Kobe was going to come through regardless. That was going to happen. We talk about Erik ten Hag and, people like to talk about how he integrates players into the team slowly. But we're not talking about how he's left players out for a significant amount of time, and then when he relies on them at the end of the season, suddenly you're shocked that they're not playing well. Well, they haven't had a good number of games. Ahmad today was okay. Amrabat was okay. Casemiro was alright. He had a decent performance. You look at, Diogo Dalot, for example, who, for me, will probably get player of the season. I think he will get player of the season because his consistency, his availability. He's, I think, one of the only players that played every minute of the league so far. No injury problems. Has been, he's been a monster, taking care of himself to be available every game. But he's definitely had dips in the season, and let's not sugarcoat it. February, March, Brentford game, I remember. There was a couple of games after that where it was a very roller coaster, up and down kind of performance from him. But across the entirety of the season, I understand. I kind of get why people are saying that, he's the player of the season. Because I think whoever wins player of the season this year, guys, by the way, whoever wins player of the season, it's not because there's a standout person. Because outside of Dalot, who else can we really say is player of the season? Who else? Kobe came in October, November times. So it'd be unfair. Rasmus Højlund, for me, he can't be player of the season because he scored his first league goal in December. I'm sorry, but I understand that he's finished, I think has he finished with 10 Premier League goals? Let me double check. But for me, he can't be player of the season. Bruno is United's top goal scorer this season. Let me look at I want to look at the exact stats. Premier League. Let's look at this. I hope it's updated. Yeah, okay, it is updated. So Manchester United are ending the season 18 wins, 14 losses. Conceding more goals than they have scoring. And when you look at the details of these stats, guys, I'm just looking at the details here. a 35% shooting accuracy, that's not good. 22% cross accuracy. Cross and inshallah. They're just trying to get the ball into the box at the best of their ability. And by the way, this is just in the league. 9 clean sheets out of 38 games. 9 clean sheets. Like, let me say that again one more time. 9 clean sheets in 38 games. That means 29 games United conceded a goal or multiple goals. That is absolutely outrageous. That's actually a bit wild. I can't lie. That's actually a bit wild. Let's look at the signings for the season this year that Erik ten Hag brought in particular. This is the signings that Erik ten Hag brought in this year and their availability in the league. Andre Onana, 38 appearances, played every single game in the league. Obviously conceded 58 goals, only had 9 clean sheets, but I think it's a collective effort. I don't think it's individually down to one person. Another player that Erik ten Hag brought in this season, Johnny Evans, 23 appearances, 2 clean sheets, and 1 assist. Would you look at that? 1 assist. The next player brought in Mason Mount, 14 appearances in the league, but I know that, of course, that this is 14 makes it seem like it's a lot, but I know the number of minutes played in those 14 minutes is nothing, because Andre Onana has played 38 games, and I know he's played every minute of that. Mason Mount, I know for a fact, hasn't played much. Sufyan, and by the way, 14 appearances for Mason Mount with 1 goal. Let's put it into perspective. He has the same number of goals as Varane. No assists. Not 1 assist in the league this year. Sufyan Amrabat, 21 appearances, no goals, no assists. I don't even know what bro was doing there. And Rasmus Højlund for Erik ten Hag this season in the Premier League, another guy that he brought in. 30 appearances, 10 goals, 2 assists. 38 shots. I think he had like a 60%. He's got a pretty decent conversion rate for the number of shots. 38 shots on goal. With 10 goals coming from that, which is decent because that is a very low number of shots. To put it into perspective, guys, Rasmus Højlund had 38 shots on goal. That is less than Rashford, Antony, and Garnacho. 3 of our wide players. Amad Diallo, in 9 appearances, has had 10 shots. That's near enough to 25% of the number of shots that Rasmus Højlund has. Now, I don't know, we could talk about why that's the case. It could be because of the positions he's getting in. It could be because of, he's not really getting the ball at his feet. Today's goal, for example, and the goal that he scored in the midweek, 2 good goals. This is why I genuinely think Rasmus Højlund should not be the number 9 leading the front line, expected to play back to goal. That's not him. If he plays as a second striker, he can get onto his weaker foot. He can get past the man. He can, be in and around that little space behind the striker and find space for himself to get a shot on goal. One thing about Rasmus Højlund, he's got a good strike on him. He's got a good strike on his left foot. He's got a decent strike on his right foot. So he's able to do it. I think this summer, of course, there's going to be priorities. Of course, there's going to be priorities in other positions. Central midfield, the back line, right wing, left back. But a striker has to be on the table. United have to get a striker to support Rasmus Højlund. He cannot be the lone 9. We need a back to goal specialist, someone that's good at link up play, someone that can get Højlund involved with Bruno and whoever's playing on the wings. But the fact that Garnacho has had 100 shots in the league and your striker hasn't even had half of that, that shows, again, where there has been some, learning experiences or learning curves for Manchester United this season. It's definitely not end all or be all, because it's the first year that a lot of these players are playing together. It's the first year for Rasmus Højlund to hit 16 goals in all competitions. It's very good, given the circumstances that he didn't score his first Premier League goal until about, when was it? Middle of December? It was about middle of December. Antony, can I say, has the same number of goals as Ahmad, despite playing way more. He has the same number of goals as Martial, who hasn't played since last year. This is a joke. Antony's a joke. Like, I never want to see this guy. Kobe Mainoo got more goals than him. Eriksen got the same number of goals as him. Casemiro got the same number of goals as him. Varane got the same number of goals as him. Wan-Bissaka got more assists than him. Wan-Bissaka has more assists than Antony. Lisandro Martinez has missed about 90% of the season, and he's got the same number of assists as Antony. Antony, I never want to see him again. Maguire has more goals and assists than Antony. Lindelof has the same number of goals and assists as Antony. This guy is a joke. I literally never want to see him again. Diogo Dalot got more goals and assists than Antony. Oh my god. Anyway, let me see what the chat is saying. But Mina, you didn't see Antony's face when he came on against Arsenal. That face was jokes. That was hilarious. Goal scoring has been an issue in the whole post-Fergie era because our attacking recruitment has been laughable. It has been bad. Past 3 seasons, we failed to score 60 or more goals. CJ says, salam to you, CJ. 57 goals conceded. 57 goals scored. 58 goals conceded. Needs addressing. I agree it does. Abe's World says, Dalot, player of the season. Facts. Ridwan says, we must win the FA Cup to take Chelsea's place in the Europa League. Do whatever it takes to win. Forget the performance. Hopefully City are bloated on the day and we can snatch a win. Do you guys actually... Let me ask you something. Do you guys actually want European football next year? Like, genuine question. Like, genuine. Like, this is the safe space, guys. This is safe space. No one's going to judge you. I'm not going to judge you. No one in the chat's going to judge you, yeah? So let's be honest with each other. Do you guys actually want to play in Europe next year? Do you want to play in Europe next year? Given the fact that there's no guarantee we'll win it. There's no guarantee we'll win it. I definitely think Europa League... This is not Conference League, because apparently if we win FA Cup, it will be... If we win FA Cup, it will be... We'll take Chelsea's spot. Now... I might be one of the minority that thinks. I'm whispering this as if like people can hear me or something. I think I'm one of the minorities that think United could do with a one game a week kind of thing. Maybe we can actually gel as a team when you just play in the league. Because maybe I still got PTSD from that penalty shootout in Europa. Maybe I still got PTSD from that. Maybe I got PTSD from Sevilla last year. But I just feel like in a team that is going to be changing quite heavily, we don't even know if the manager's... I'm speaking as if the manager's still going to be here next season, by the way, guys. When I speak about next year, I'm speaking as if the manager's still going to be here. I genuinely think if we're going to have like a kind of a revolving door of people coming in and out and the manager with these players, I'd rather he gets to grips with these players and his style of football without European football. I genuinely think that. Because I'll be real, if Man United are not in Europa next year and they're just in domestic cups, I feel like it'll be easier to win the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup. We ain't going to win the league, but it'll be easier to win the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup than it would be for us to win any of those and Europa. By the way, we've seen this year, last year, what being in multiple competitions can do to a squad that is being run by Erik ten Hag. We've seen that. We've seen it. We've seen injuries this season's injury galore. Last season, we were playing 3 games a week, guys. Do you remember when we were in Europe, we were in the Carabao Cup, we were in the FA Cup. We were playing 3 games a week, Sunday, midweek, Sunday again, which was exhausting for the players. We were watching the team play looking tired. This year has been no different because we got knocked out of Champions League in December and we've still looked tired throughout the last 5 months. And that is why I'm saying that I'm a bit concerned about the prospect of being in a European competition, and then the domestic cups, etc. And I'm also worried about how the summer transfer window might pan out when it comes to squad depth, because Varane leaving is happening. Lindelof or Maguire might leave. We're already running thin in the back line. Wan-Bissaka could leave. United are not signing 3 other defenders. It's very unlikely. So the cause of squad depth is another thing that concerns me. Of course, I think we can only predict next season when it comes to the end of the summer transfer window, where we see exactly what Manchester United are working with. Glasner is a better manager than Erik ten Hag. Prove me wrong. I don't think anyone would argue that right now. Radwan says, okay, forget about Europa League. Winning the FA Cup is paramount. For me, 100%. But also, do you think that winning the FA Cup gives Erik ten Hag more time? Because I don't think it does. It never gave Louis van Gaal any more time. And Louis van Gaal finished in a better league position than Erik ten Hag did. So I don't think that should be the end all or be all, because if you watch Manchester United women, there's a similar saga that's been happening there, where the manager got an extension before the FA Cup final, then he won the FA Cup final, and they announced it after the final that he got it. So for him, he was getting it regardless. Whereas with Erik ten Hag, it seems to be the conversation that it's kind of FA Cup or you're gone. But I don't think that should be the case. I think even if Erik ten Hag wins the FA Cup, you should still explore the options of other managers, because a cup run is much easier than a Premier League run or a Champions League run, etc., etc. Like, I'm not saying that United at any point were competing for the Prem or they were competing for Champions League, but I think it's easier to win the FA Cup than it is to have a good Premier League dominating performance. Not even dominating, but competitive performance across a 38 game span. FA Cup, we played what? We played Wigan, we played Newport, we played Forest, we played what? Was it Coventry after we played Forest? We played Liverpool. We played a lot of games. We played 7 games. Why did I think we played 5? Clearly my maths is not mathing, guys, because I genuinely thought we played 5 games going into the FA Cup final. We played Wigan, we played Newport. Yeah, we played Wigan, we played Newport, we played Forest. Then we played Liverpool in the quarters, and then we played Coventry. So that's 6 games. It's 6 games to get to a final. 6 games to get to a final and win it. That is anyone can do it. I'm not saying that, and you lot are going to say to me, well, if anyone can do it, then why don't they do it? My point is that a cup run is easier than a league run or a Champions League run, etc., because there's more games that you have to play. So you have to be good for more periods of time. Arsenal are a prime example, guys, of if you slip up once in the league when you're in a title run, for example, it can come back and bite you at the end of the season. Because they were celebrating drawing to City, which I never really understood that. I said, well, if you're in a title race against that team, wouldn't you want to beat them to take 3 points? But every Arsenal fan I spoke to said they were happy with the point because it was the Etihad and etc., etc. But what bit them? It was losing to Villa. So the Premier League shows you that, you have to be consistent. For, longevity wins at the end of it. Longevity will win. Let me see what the chat is saying. Adam says 1 game a season can be good if we take advantage. Chelsea had crazy injuries without Europe too. Chelsea finished above us. It took Chelsea a bit of time to kind of get their house in order. But they got there eventually. They got there in the end. So it's embarrassing for us. Can I say that, guys? It's embarrassing for us that Chelsea has finished above us. And I think that's another thing that people are overlooking for the season. When we talk about the season, we're talking about the injuries, etc. We're not talking about the goals that we've conceded. We're not talking about, the sheer number of games that we've lost. We're not talking about the fact that we finished in a poor league position. We're not talking about Chelsea finishing above us this season when they've been the laughing stock of the top 6 for the last 2 seasons. That is embarrassing. Let's be honest with ourselves. Let's really be honest with ourselves. Do you guys think, and this is a question to everyone, do you think that it's not embarrassing that Chelsea have finished above us? Because I think it is. And you should say that I'm being reactionary or everything, but for me it's the fact that Chelsea have been struggling for a number, like they were drawing to Burnley and that, and we were laughing about that. We were literally laughing about that. So that says a lot. Onpolopo says, how would you line up Saturday, Mina? We'll come to that. Let's just get through this topic at the moment. Kweku, sorry if I said it wrong, says we need a reset. To be honest, we need a reset everywhere. We need a reset everywhere in the team. We need a cultural reset. We need a change in the structure. We need a lot. A lot of you lot are kind of divided. Some of you lot saying yes on Europa, and some of you saying no. Some of you saying no Conference League, but I'll have Europa. Oh, big up to Adam. Big up to Ahmed. Big up to Ahmed Dashan. Welcome back to the community. Just gifted a big 2-0. That's also the same thing as the scoreline today. Big up to Ahmed. I appreciate it. Barry, you lot got memberships. Oh my god, did balloons just come up on the screen? Oh shit. It's the balloons. It's the celebration. For Ahmed. Big up to Ahmed with the 20 gifted memberships. That's a lot. I think that's the most that's been gifted here, you know. I think that's the most that's been gifted. Big up. A lot of you guys got the memberships. I can't really read through everyone. But I can see quite a few of the regulars in the chat have been gifted memberships. Balloons for the one. God. Big up to Ahmed. I appreciate it. We're going to have some member streams for the off season. We're definitely going to do some member only streams, and we're going to run a bit of that. Arsenal's crying in their car. Guys, I know a lot of people that are Arsenal. Let's talk about Arsenal quickly, yeah. But I know a lot of people that are Arsenal fans, and they are really downplaying the fact that they've lost the league. They are downplaying it, and I cannot believe it. I can't believe it. I'm like, what denial are you living in? Denial is not only a river in Egypt. It is clearly a state of mind for some football fans, because they are saying, oh yeah, we go again next season. Third season in a row, you're saying we go again. You're saying third season in a row, we go again. Clearly, Arsenal are missing pieces in their team, right? And I have some respect for Arteta because this is his first managerial job. But I feel like people are downplaying 2 years in a row that Arsenal have kind of crumbled. Like, they have crumbled. The fact that you have to go the whole week, yeah, for the last 10 days, they went from Fulham to Spurs to West Ham, just gallivanting around the streets of London, trying to get a result, Arsenal fans. Because once, and I say this is also applicable to United, by the way, when you rely on other teams to get a result, to change your circumstance, that's when you effed up. And of course, Arsenal effed up when they dropped points to Villa. But I feel like that game that they celebrated when they drew against City, remember, they were like, yes! I was like, what? What in the hell? And yeah, Arsenal fans can come here and be like, yeah, but Pep has surpassed Salah. That's the first text message I received today when I sent a message to my friend who's an Arsenal fan, and I sent a meme basically. The first response was, Pep has surpassed Sir Alex Ferguson. And I said to my friend, we're not here to talk about Pep. We're not here to talk about Sir Alex Ferguson. I'm here to talk about Arsenal. Yeah, but City won this many titles, 4 in a row. I'm not here to talk about City. I'm talking about Arsenal. And all they have to say is, yeah, but City, United. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about your season. Second year in a row you crumble. I swear, guys, go on Twitter. The videos are circulating of someone lying in the crowd saying, at the Emirates, saying it's 2-2, and everybody starts celebrating. It is the funniest thing. Nah, Mina, they haven't crumbled. That's not true. I think they've won 16 of 18 league games this year. Why didn't they win 18 of 18? If you're gonna go for the title, you can't drop points. Like, maybe I'm being a bit harsh on Arsenal or just the Premier League in general, but I'm under the impression that if you are challenging for a title, you have to try and win every single game. Like, 16 and 18 is good. Ten Hag, if United won 16 and 18 in 2024, wallahi, Ten Hag will never let us hear the end of it. He would leave the club and join another team, and he will be, you know, like when Jose kept talking about finishing second with that United team, that would be the equivalent of Ten Hag. Ten Hag would be like, yeah, I won 16 of 18 and they still sacked me. Give it a rest. But I don't know. The Arsenal situation is funny to me, innit? Let me ask you a question quickly on Manchester City in particular. Do you think, because I'm hearing this talk, he's surpassed Alex Ferguson's legacy. How much has he spent at City? Bear in mind, I'm not even going to talk about the 115 charges in it. I'm not going to even talk about that because relegation is coming for you guys. Justice is coming for City soon. Justice is coming soon. You are getting stripped of all your trophies, yeah? But, yeah, 6 and 7 for Jose Mourinho. For Pep, sorry, not Jose Mourinho. 6 and 7 for Pep. 3 managers in the history of the Premier League have won the Premier League and the Champions League in their time managing. That's Sir Alex Ferguson, that's Pep, and that's Klopp. Obviously, Sir Alex Ferguson won it in the treble year and the double year. Pep won it with the treble, and Klopp won it in 2 different years. However, he still won it. Do you think that this City era of dominance, because football is like sports are based on eras where 1 team, 2 teams, dynasties will dominate across a number of years, and then, you know, it's up and down, up and down. I know the answer already, but do you think this City legacy is better than United's one? Because I don't know what it is. Everyone that's not a United fan is trying to convince me that it is. And I said, chat to me when Pep wins 13 titles. Come chat to me then. Come chat to me then. Chat to me when Pep wins multiple Champions Leagues. I genuinely think that when Sir Alex Ferguson was dominating football, because he was dominating in a time where there was Chelsea, there was Arsenal, Liverpool was good. He was dominating, Sir Alex Ferguson was dominating in a time that had other competitive teams. For 2 years, I feel like City were just running away with the league by themselves. Then Liverpool came and kind of competed a little bit with them. And it was a 2-man race. And then over the last 2 years, it's been Arsenal and City. So they've only ever really had one team competing with them for the title. I don't think they have any real rivalries in the league. I genuinely don't think City have. You know what I saw, guys, when I was watching the game? So I had the City game on, I had the United game on, and then I was flicking through between my phone between the Arsenal game and the Palace game. And when the City game finished, I saw City fans invade the pitch. Guys, act like you've been here before. Have some decorum. Honestly, like, come on. Act like you've been here before. Don't act like you're new to this. If Arsenal won the league and they invaded the pitch, I understand. You ain't won it for a long time, yeah? I would completely understand if you did that. But you've won it 4 in a row. You've won it 4 in a row. Act like you've been here before. Don't act like... I'll be real, guys. If United won 4 in a row, don't you think... I don't think they would invade the pitch. They won 3 in a row. They never did that. And clearly the security at Etihad is shit for fans to just be running onto the pitch. I don't know, man. I find it kind of funny. And maybe because I find it funny because I know City fans. I know a few City fans. And like people that I know in Manchester, a lot of them are City fans. They were born and raised City fans. This idea that City fans don't exist is not true. They 100% exist and they are there. But whenever I speak to them about football, they just seem like they're just bored of they can buy who they want, win what they want. They've got the best manager in the league, in probably in world football, and they just like sometimes I talk to my City friends and they're just like, yeah, we want a challenge, and I'm like, really, 115 charges, and you're saying you want a challenge? That is the challenge, going to court and surviving that. That is what the challenge is. City's legacy can't be denied. First team to 100 points. First team to do domestic treble. 2 trebles. Treble only counts, can I just say, before I finish this comment? Treble only counts. It's not... The domestic trebles don't count, in my eyes. If you say to me we won the treble, I'm expecting that you won the FA Cup, the Premier League, and the Champions League. I don't want to hear we won the Carabao Cup. That's not a treble. But I'm going to continue. 2 trebles, 4 leagues in a row, and potentially first team to do back-to-back League Cup double. I'll agree with the reason why I didn't want City to win the league is because I didn't want them to do 4 in a row. And I said, it doesn't matter whether people feel like there's no City fans and blah, blah, blah. I get it. They won the treble last season and no one really cared. Like, they won the treble last season and it didn't really get that much coverage. And it didn't continue for a long time. However, I did say I didn't want City to win the league because history, whether or not these 115 charges are, whether they bust case or not, history won't be nice to legacies like Sir Alex Ferguson's when we talk about people who have done something for the first time. So, for example, Man City are the first team to do 4 titles in a row. Sir Alex Ferguson or Manchester United have never done that. So that is a legacy that they've already taken. Or that's a, a record that they've already taken. So now, if United were to do 4 in a row, it wouldn't be as impressive because it's been done before by their Manchester rivals. They would have to one-up that and do 5 in a row. Hopefully next year, City don't win the flipping league because it's gonna take all the fun out of it. Garnacho's overhead kick had more attention than that City treble. I'll give memberships if there's 5 City fans from Somalia right now. You know what is funny? There are City fans. There's City fans in Somalia. You see the most randomest fans. Barcelona, Real Madrid, obviously United, Arsenal. I think in Somalia, and just as Somalis, there's predominantly Arsenal fans and United fans. I would say that's the 2 most. But I guess it just depends what generation you grew up in. But talking about Garnacho's overhead kick, Hamza makes me laugh so much. I need to get him on this week for the preview of the FA Cup. I really can't be asked because he's going to be on a high already from winning the league. But I have to get him on. I have to get him on for the content. But talking about goals, what's your goals of the season, guys? Let's name 5 goals that has stood out. Obviously, Garnacho overhead kick will definitely be a standout one. I would say Rashi's goal against City, despite us losing that was a good goal. There was a goal that Højlund scored in the Champions League where he picked it up from near the centre circle and dribbled, and I don't know if you lot remember, and he slapped it in. I can't remember who that was against. I want to say that was maybe against, that might have been against Copenhagen when Rashford got sent off. I think it was that game. That was a good game. Cobby against Liverpool and Wolves were 2 good goals. If I had to pick this between the 2 of them, if I had to pick between Cobby's goal against Wolves and Cobby's goal against Liverpool, we won the game against Wolves, but for me it's just the magnitude of the game. Liverpool, the quality of the goal on the half turn, top corner, that was a good goal. That was a very good goal. Hannibal scored a good goal. I think it was against, was it Brighton or Burnley? I can't remember. I think it was his only goal of the season before he got shipped out on loan. So that was a good one. Really, other than that, I can't really. That is for me the standout goals for Man United this season. Rashford against City, says Ridwan. Oompa says Rashford, Garnacho. That was 2 good goals. I think everyone's going to say definitely that Garnacho overhead kick. Bruno Screamer versus Galatasaray. Oh yeah, that was a good goal. That was a good goal. Mano versus Wolves. Mano versus Wolves for me it was a good goal just because of the quality of the goal, but also it was the winner in literally like the last minute. Bruno versus Galatasaray, says Ridwan as well. Garnacho and Kudus's goal was good today. His goal was good today. Foden has scored a few good goals this season in the league, but also in Champions League he's scored a few good goals. Cobby versus Pool or Cobby Wolves, Cobby Curlers. That's a good name for Cobby's goals this season. No, against Liverpool, Mano and Bruno's in the same game. Yeah, when he scored from the keeper's mistake, but that was practically an open goal at that point. Antony versus Newpoint. I may or may not be on Spice. Ridwan is on something. Antony is banned from this chat. Just United goals. The Garnacho goal takes the cake for sure. Definitely, 100%. Antony did Instagram. Well, he thinks he's Abdi Shuffle. Even Abdi Shuffle. Shout out to Abdi Shuffle in it. He's one of my favourite TikTokers. Abdi Shuffle is better than Antony, and I'm gonna die on that hill. I will die on that hill. He is better than Antony. Antony really thought he was doing something by posting that video on his Instagram. He thought, I'm onto something with this. The fans are gonna eat it up. Absolutely not. We're not eating it up. If anything, we're eating it up and vomiting it back out. I can't stand him. I can't wait. When he leaves this season, this summer, good riddance. Good riddance. Give us back that number 21 shirt. I loved all the goals that Antony scored. Too many to remember. Ahmad, just for the occasion. Yeah, for me, the Liverpool one, the FA Cup Ahmad goal, because of the occasion, because it's a cup game as well. It's ending what was it called? Farewell tour. Yeah, hold that. The farewell tour was coming to an end for Klopp. And also for me as well, because Ahmad, it was Ramadan and he was fasting at the time, and he scored the winner in literally like a minute left, and I predicted the winner as well from Ahmad and exactly what minute it was gonna come. I'll go with that Ahmad goal. But for me, I think Garnacho will definitely win Player of the Season. Let's talk about some awards, guys. Let's do some awards here. We've done Player of the Season, we've done Goal of the Season. Who's been the most underachieving Player of the Season? I don't like to be negative. But who's been the most underachieving Player of the Season? Or the biggest disappointment? Let's say biggest disappointment. Who's been the biggest disappointment for the season? For me, it has to be Marcus Rashford. The reason why I'm saying that is because of the season he had last year, the big contract he got. I really thought this season, bam. Wallahi, I was watching the video, guys, of my predictions at the beginning of the season. We're going to do a stream where we're going to watch it together and we're going to laugh. I was just like, bro, what the hell? I said Rashford's got to score 30 again in a row. I said he has to have another season of 30 plus goals in all competitions. Who the hell did I think he was? Rashford was disappointing. Sancho was just underwhelming, honestly. Like, I wouldn't say disappointed. I felt let down. By Sancho. But for me, Rashford has been the disappointing one in the season, just because of the level he hit last year, and it's just, you know, the big dip, the big forming dip. It kind of says a lot. Antony, Rashford, Casemiro, too many to count. Damn. Mount, Rashford, Antony, special mention to Onana for that Champions League masterclass. Yeah. You know what? I think the rest of the season kind of saved Onana, because if we were to just judge him off of that Champions League, the judging would have been very harsh. It would have been ICJ settings. But because he managed to kind of redeem himself at different points during the season, I mean, he is the reason we're out of the Champions League. But guys, what? Honestly, I'll be honest, and this is a question to you guys. What the hell would have United even done in the Champions League knockouts? Again, my prediction was quarterfinal. I said quarterfinal. I wish I could go back to Mina a year ago to tell her, hey, don't get your hopes up in the Champions League because you've got an embarrassing Champions League coming up. Amrabat is an outside shout. Expected so much from his move. Do you think that his move was disappointing because he didn't get a lot of playing time? Or he didn't start regularly in the position of his preference? Because I think that is the case. I genuinely think that's the case with Amrabat. I think you lot know me in it. My expectations were very high for Amrabat. And I've finished the season not disappointed, but maybe more so underwhelmed with the impact that he's made, because I expected a bigger impact. And I also sometimes wonder, like, had he come into a better performing Man United side, would it have been, you know, a better loan experience for him rather than the loan experience that he really ended up having? Left back, he started off left back at one point. He played right back at some point, barely played, went AFCON, came back, barely played, and then has had a few runner games of recent. I wouldn't say he's the underperformer of the season, but I definitely would say I expected more. I definitely look at that shit. This excuse. I'm just trying to look at it from the wider perspective, guys. You know, I'm looking at it from a bird's eye view. I'm just trying to be as realistic as possible. That's it. Rashford and Onana in the Champions League, though, still hurts. Mount with the injuries also, and of course Sancho is a disgrace. Hey. I wouldn't go as far to say disgrace. I wouldn't go as far to say that. 50% of the goals scored against us were Onana's mistakes. Honestly, though, guys, what would United have even done in the Champions League? Like, genuinely, that's a question. Round of 16, we might have just bounced out. Or, you know, we weren't making a deep run in the Champions League. If the way that United have played, over the last 5 months, if that performances was happening in the Champions League, we probably would have been embarrassed in the Champions League. We need to react to those videos, Mina. We are gonna react to it. We are gonna react to it a bit. Should never have sold David de Gea. Spent money on a striker. Marcel, thankfully gone now. Wages in the bag. Let me ask you a lot of questions though, because I see this conversation about David de Gea a lot. I see it a lot. The guy still ain't got a club. I understand that David de Gea was a good shot stopper, but he did have his flaws. But if he was as good or still as good as what we're saying that he is, would he have not found a club comfortably? Would he not? Real Madrid lost Courtois and they signed Kepa Arrizabalaga. Yeah? I don't know whether he would have went to Madrid because of his ties to other Spanish teams. But come on. Sevilla sold Bono to Saudi. They didn't even want to bring him. And this is where I say, yeah, David de Gea should be humble, because you lot in the chat are saying it's about wages. He was making 300k a week with Man United, 350k a week, however much he was making. You're telling me if you really love the game and you love and you bleed football, you're saying just to play again you wouldn't take a pay cut? You wouldn't do that? And I understand football is, or sports is a money. Sports has become I wouldn't say money laundering, but it is. Money is the incentive. People are not willing to make less to play football, and it's only going to increase. We got Saudi in it, we got the American League, the Chinese League back in the day, etc. So I get that, but if you really wanted to play one more year of football, and you're a young guy, you're telling me you wouldn't take a pay cut? If they tell you 100k a week, 90k a week, of course there's probably players that are 21, 22 earning more than that, but you've just been on a fat contract for the last 5-6 years. Come on. Someone even said to me, by the way, someone who's a De Gea fan said to me that he's not playing this season because he's taken a break to spend time with his wife because he got married. Remember, United literally let him leave on a free, and I think like a week later he had his wedding. And then someone said to me, he's using this time to spend time with his wife. His wife was his girlfriend. They spent time, they spent a lot of time together before their wedding. Yeah? So that can't be the excuse. That cannot be the excuse. The only improvement Onana gave us is he's better at long balls and high claims. He's better at long balls, but have we really reaped the benefits of it? No, because United just go long all the time, lose the first duel, lose the second duel. I think Erik ten Hag's tactic this season with Onana and the long balls was to go long, lose the first duel, and fight for the second ball. And we actually conceded, I want to say it was against Bournemouth, a couple weeks back. We conceded from a goal like that, where Onana went long, Garnacho couldn't win the header, the second duel wasn't won, and bam, they scored. Literally, ABCD, so comfortably. And yes, Onana is good at that, but I think we actually haven't reaped the full benefits of having Onana in the team. I think there's still more benefits to come from it. There has been some moments where I always think, it's always like from a corner or something, United lose possession and I think, oh shit, they're on a counter, one long ball, and Onana, sweeper keeper, he's there, active. That is a benefit. That is 100% a benefit. There's times where he scared me, where first game of the season he came against Wolves and knocked a man out to claim the ball. Do you guys remember? He came out, but he said, hold that, bah, and he knocked a man out. And United luckily got away with it. But then karma caught up with them later in the season, if you lot remember. Karma caught up with them. So there are definitely parts of his game that has scared people. And then there's parts of his game that has impressed people. And I just think we're yet to see the full benefits of it, because United has been what's the word? We haven't seen the full benefit because United's been crap this season. They've been crap. Now that for me is not an excuse. I would actually go as far to say Man United, if they knew David de Gea they were going to let him leave on a free last season, if they knew they were going to let him leave on a free, they should have brought in Onana, who was available on a free. Instead, he went to Inter Milan and then we paid a big fee for him. Sometimes United don't make sense. Put Onana into City's team and he'd be the same as Edison. That's a hot shout. That's a hot shout. I can't lie. Flip-flop. How am I calling it? How are you calling me a flip-flop? You all speaking with hindsight on David de Gea. Now Mina proves my point. Onana just goes long. No benefits. Mina's words. I'm just saying Eric Ten Hag's instructions. I'm not saying that's how Onana plays, because we've seen Onana playing out from the back. We've seen Onana playing out from the back. But predominantly over the last couple months, we've seen the instruction is go long. Like, that has been the instruction. I just wish, actually, Onana said to Ten Hag what he said to the Cameroon boss that got him kicked out of World Cup camp. He got kicked out of the World Cup He got kicked out of the World Cup camp in Qatar by the Cameroon manager, and he was dropped from the final game in the group stages because the manager told him to stay on his line, and he said he's not here to play old school football. And he's a modern day goalkeeper. So the manager said, well, if you're not going to do what I'm going to tell you to do, I'm going to drop you. And obviously he got dropped. And he basically packed his bags. He was out of Qatar straight away. He was like, F this shit. If that is the instructions from Eric Ten Hag to go long and you don't want to do that, tell him you're not going to do that. Tell him you're not going to do that. But we never saw that. I do think Anana, hopefully, will practice a lot of shot stopping this summer, this pre-season. Like, what the hell, is it raining? No, it's not. It is. No, it's not. Sorry, guys, I just got distracted for a second. De Gea kicked the ball into the manager constantly. I don't know if you lot realise, but I feel like teams throughout the season, and now reflecting back on the season, I do feel like a lot of teams, when we were playing out from the back, didn't bother pressing Onana because they knew what he was capable of. Instead, they tried close off the passing lanes to the full-backs or to the centre-backs because they know that Onana is good at passing. Whereas when De Gea was in goal, they would press him and he would just literally panic. He's like, I'm panicking. Why? Because I'm going to lose my job. Literally, that's what he was doing. He would panic and end up giving the ball away. Mina making bare excuses for Onana. I'm not making excuses, man. I am not making excuses. We thought we were getting Edison / Allison. It turns out we got Bravo and / Carriers. That's being a bit harsh, guys. Come on, you're comparing Onana to Carriers. Come on, guys. Come on. Let's rank Eric Ten Hag. Let's rank Eric Ten Hag's signings this season. This season, Eric Ten Hag brought in a number of players. I'll be real, I think maybe Højlund is the only one that probably had a decent season. Even then, his season was a bit up and down. It was a bit of an emotional roller coaster. So let's start with Højlund. What would we rank Højlund as a signing for the season? Rasmus Højlund, 16 goals all competitions, 10 goals in the league. He hits the double-digit mark just about. To put it into perspective, I think there's like multiple midfielders that hit more than 10 goals. But of course, he didn't really get his first goal until December. 38 shots on goal throughout the entire Premier League season. And to put that into perspective, Antony had more. Garnacho had more than, I think, triple. Rashford had more. 70 million price tag. Leading the front line, 21 years of age. I'll give him a 6. I'd give him a 6. I wouldn't say he's been the worst signing, but he hasn't been amazing. Out of 10, I would say 6. But even 6 is being a bit nice. That's me. Do we be nice or do we be ruthless, guys? Should we be nice or should we be ruthless? I'll say 6 to get to get them goals. No one is getting more than a 6, by the way. No one is getting more than a 6. Damn, Ahmed Deshan says 2 out of 10. Wajid says 5. Tualumba says 3. Show says 6. Yeah, I'd say 6. JB says 3 out of 10. Yeah, damn. Wajid says it's a 5 at best. I think 6 is me clutching at straws. I wouldn't be mad at a 5. I wouldn't really be mad at you lot saying 5. I wouldn't really be mad at that. Who's next? Rasmus Højlund, yeah, dude, you guys are so mean. I think we're being realistic. I wouldn't say it's mean. I don't think it's mean. I was rating Erik ten Hag. Oh, okay, Ahmed, we're rating Højlund as a signing, as a signing, his first year. We're not gonna rate everyone. We're focusing on the players that Erik ten Hag has brought in this summer. I think everyone's agreeing on the 5 and the 6, so we'll give him a 5.5. 5.5 I'll give him. I don't want to... Mason Mount for me, he gets a 0. Mason Mount gets a 0. I don't even have to talk too much about Mason Mount, because I'm sure you guys might share a similar sentiment. 1 goal in the Premier League. Number of injuries. He's missed over 30 games with injury. In the games that he even played, his real standout game for me, where I watched him get bullied by Joe Linton, was Carabao Cup against Newcastle. And I thought, oh my God, this is what we're in for? Scary. I'll give him a 0. I don't think, we spent the entirety of last season talking about fitness and players being fit and people saying your best ability is availability. Then you live by the sword, you die by that sword. And for that reason, I have to say, he's not been good. But also, can I say that I blame Man United for buying him. Did Erik ten Hag push for him? I don't know. But I blame them for buying him, giving him 250k a week, spending 60 million on a guy that has given you 1 goal in the Prem. No one talks about that enough. We're so busy. Excuse me, sorry. We're so busy talking about people like Antony. No one's talking about the fact that this guy cost 60 million on his last year of his contract, and he's got 1 goal in the Prem, and he's missed over 30 games. Mount almost loses a point because we could have put the cash into Rice and been sorted for years. I don't think Declan Rice would ever come to United, I don't think so. But we could have put that money elsewhere. We could have put the money into other places for midfield. Mount gets a 3.142 divided by 2. Mount in the negative. Ed says he gets 1 because he scored, otherwise 0. Big game player says Mount -10. Pathetic. Damn. JB says, yeah, easy 0. You lot are giving him the minuses. You lot are really, really giving him the minuses. But it looks like everyone's saying 1 out of 10, 1 out of 10, -2, 0.5 out of 10. Mount is a 1. I hear it. And the number 7 as well. You lot just reminded me. Someone just mentioned the number 7 in the chat. Next up, who's the next signing? Sufyan Amrabat. Sufyan Amrabat, a loan move from Fiorentina. How much did we spend? We spent 6 million, I think it was, on his loan spell. And then I think he's got a price tag of 20 million. It's funny because Fiorentina are in Conference League final again, so they kind of missed out on that. Sufyan Amrabat, I don't think really got the opportunity consistently in the first team. I don't think he got the consistency. I think I can think of about 2 or 3 good performances he's had throughout the entirety of the season. When you think about the expectations versus the reality, very underwhelming. Very, very underwhelming. The expectation of what we thought we were getting with Amrabat versus, the reality of the performances, it was poor. I'll give him a 2 out of 10 for a signing rating. I mean, he's a loan spell, so you can't really I think we could be less harsh on him because he's not going to be here next season. So I can say that Ikhwan FC is what I like to call him. If you know, you know. I like to call him an Ahmad Ikhwan FC. I'll give him a 2. I think he had no goals, no assists. I don't think he had any goals or assists in the Premier League. Really only got getting a clear run of games over the last couple games. Consistently in and out of the lineup. Sometimes barely didn't even play, coming off the bench. Amrabat is Show's nemesis. I don't think Amrabat hates anyone more than he hates Ten Hag and then Amrabat. Wajid says, Free can't help that we brought in a CDM and the manager plays him at left back till the last 3 games of the season. 100% I agree. Amrabat, again, garbage like Mount. Okay, I think it's harsh to say like Mount. Premier League isn't for Amrabat. I think he's a bit slow. Yeah, the pace of the tempo of Premier League, I don't think is for him. 7, because I know he's good and the players around him let him down. Damn. Ahmed giving him a 7. He runs like a reverse turtle. How do you even know what a reverse turtle runs like? 1 out of 10, 3 out of 10. Show says 0 out of 10. Ed says 2 out of 10. Amrabat gets a 2 for the Arsenal and the Newcastle game. Yeah, I think 2, 3 is reasonable. Onana, Andre Onana. This one I think is going to be the difficult one. I genuinely don't know what to give him. If I gave Rasmus a 6, I have to give him a 4. I'd have to give him a 4 because what I would give him a 5, but what brings it down is the Champions League. Champions League brings it down to a 4. Like that, those howlers are unforgivable. Plus, I always say you can't trust a man with a high top. I always say this, guys. I can't trust a man with a high top. But I give him a 4, just because also he's had like runs of good performances. There's some games where he fully kept us in. So I give him a 4. First half of the season, he was 0 out of 10. Second half, he's been 7. By the way, guys. Yeah, by the way, he has done an interview with The Overlap that is coming out this week. Yeah, it's coming out this week. I just know he has said some typical African uncle stuff. I just know it. And of course, I'm going to do a stream after it. Comes out tomorrow. There you go. I knew it was coming out before the FA Cup. I'm looking forward to the nonsense that he says. Talking about The Overlap, guys. This is off topic, but if you ain't watched Andy Cole's interview on it, go watch it. What a good interview. The same rating as his AFCON save percentage. Anana -78. Opalumpa says 4. Yeah, you lot say, everyone seems to be saying 4 out of 10. High Top gets a 4 out of 10. 2 to 4 out of 10. Ridwan says 4 as well. Yeah, it seems like the correlating number here is 4. Anana, his technique is terrible. Axial dives up, not across. I think I said this in a stream once. I was talking about at the beginning of his season how weird his technique looks. And then I read an article on The Athletic where it was around the time after, I think it was after Galatasaray. And apparently the Man United goalkeeping staff was working with Onana on improving his saving technique because there was some concerns about the way he saves and the way he dives and how slow he dives and how low he goes when he doesn't need to. And also he spends a lot of time, by the way, guys, I don't know if you noticed, but he dives very late. As if he can't see the ball. And when he doesn't do that and he doesn't dive early, he doesn't dive at all. And apparently Manchester United's goalkeeping team had concerns about that and about his diving technique. So I agree with this. He does have a very unusual diving technique. Anana needs to do underwater training or something. Anana scoops instead of saves. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. 1 out of 10 for Anana. Still can't forget the Galatasaray game. Those free kicks hurt. I don't think I'll ever forget the Champions League run. Not just the Galatasaray game, but just the entirety of the Champions League. I don't think, like, I tweeted today saying, thank God I'm putting this season. What's the, you know, that Men in Black erase it from your memory kind of thing? That is literally how I'm feeling about the season. Erase it from my memory. Done and dusted kind of thing. Who else did we get this season? Johnny Evans. Should never have played the number of games he played, but he was a good professional. Had some great performances. As a signing, I would rate him 0 out of 10, but it's a very random. I feel like it was a very random signing. I don't think he anticipated that he'd play so much. I'd give him a 5 or a 6. Yeah, 5 or a 6. I'd pay for my memory to be erased. So would I, bro. So would I. I would absolutely pay for my memory to be erased. Astaghfirullah, no, I wouldn't. Let me not wish for those kind of stuff, because imagine I wake up tomorrow with no memory. Let me not wish for those kind of stuff, no matter how bad football is. Alex says 7. Ridwan says 5. Umpalumpa says 5.5. Twalumba being harsh, saying 2 out of 10. Come on, that's harsh. 6. 84 goals conceded, and Mina gives him 4. That's too high. Deserves a 2. Fair enough. Who else did we sign, by the way, guys? We signed Hoyland, Amrabat, Johnny Evans, Onana, Mount. Is that all? Regulon, but bro went back. The goalkeeper. We can't even remember what his name is. We're just referring to him as the goalkeeper. Bayinda. I give Bayinda a 10 out of 10 because he played one game and he had a good performance. That is the dumbest signing. Bayinda was that is the stupidest signing ever. Why did we spend that money on him? Like, Newport, right? Was it the Newport game? Yeah, it was Newport. Oh no, it was Wigan. I think it was Wigan. Yeah, it was Wigan. I'm pretty sure it was the Wigan game. He deserved better. Overall now, what would we rate Erik ten Hag for the season? I have to ask you guys that before we wrap up the stream, because I'm going to go watch some Bridgerton. That's going to be my Saturday evening. And now that football's over, I can finally watch all the TV shows. Let me just go off topic for a bit, guys. You know, it's not a stream if I don't go off topic. Now that football's over, I can finally watch all the TV shows that I have not watched throughout the season. Because when football's on, I can't watch TV shows. I don't have the time to watch TV shows because all I do is watch football. So now I can finally watch all the shows that I've been wanting to watch peacefully until obviously the Euros comes back. I'll be doing some Euros content here as well. We've got some content throughout the week. We're having a call-in show, guys, midweek. So don't go anywhere. If you're a member, you get priority. We're going to talk about the entire season and I want to hear people's thoughts. But back to Erik ten Hag. Injuries. 84 goals conceded in all competitions. 200 plus million spent this season, combined 400 million plus in 2 years. Fallen in the second hurdle of the Carabao Cup. 8th place finish in the league. A negative goal difference in the league. Rock bottom of the Champions League. Most number of goals conceded by an English team in the Champions League in the group stage. Winning 1 game in the Champions League, finishing with 3 points. It's the worst finish, I think it was since 2005. And in 2005, United finished with more points. They just finished 4th. So it is technically the worst Champions League finish. One of the worst Premier League finishes for Manchester United. I think the worst since Sir Alex Ferguson has retired. No European football. The list right now is a lot. Palace did the double on us. You know, only beat a top 6 team once. And that was Chelsea. That we beat. Why are my neighbours shouting out their windows? Like, what the hell? Like, come on. I know it's summer, but guys, like, there's no need to shout. Guys. Come on. Bro's talking on the phone, hanging out the window. Is he not scared he's gonna drop? And does he want the whole neighbourhood to hear his phone call? I wish I could speak the language. It kind of sounds Russian. So I don't know. Alright, let me see what you lot said about Erik ten Hag. Let me see. Show says, no grade exists that I can give Erik ten Hag. Ahmed says 2 for Erik ten Hag. Twalumba says -1. Umpalumpa says 2 out of 10. At least we got to the FA Cup final 2 times. That's true. What else are you lot saying? Ten Hag gets 3 because he has an electric bike. Talk about eco-friendly. I love an eco-friendly person. I love a person that loves the earth. Because climate change is no joke, guys. We might have another heat wave this time in the summer. Climate change is no joke. So Erik ten Hag, you are a climate king. You are Greta Thunberg's right winger, providing her the assist. We love a climate king. Climate change who? Erik ten Hag got an electric bike. He don't drive to places. He rides to places. He zooms to places. I would love to have an electric bike, guys. I'd love to have one. But that's a Dutch thing, by the way, because I think in the Netherlands, like, all they do is cycle as well. -2. Eric Ten Hag donut football is terrible. 1 out of 10. Sack him now, says Nick. De Zerbi is available. Kadeem says 3. That's an Everton fan. An Everton fan is rating Eric Ten Hag 3 out of 10 for the season. All I do is use plastic straws and others use private jets. The midfield balance gets Ten Hag a 2, but the Liverpool games adds it to 2. I'm not going to lie, guys. We drew to Liverpool twice. I understand getting a draw at Anfield is good. For me, beating them in the FA Cup is better than anything that we did against them in the Premier League. Yeah, it kind of hindered. It also hindered their title charge, this fake title charge that they were undergoing. But excuse me, for me, beating them in FA Cup was better than any draw that we got against them. In the Premier League. For me, that was easy. Guys, big up, man. The stream went overboard. Lately I be streaming and I don't be keeping an eye on the time and I just talk. But big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button if you have not. If you want to join the membership club, you can. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, you get your custom member content. Of course, you get to support the growth of the channel. Big up to Ahmed for the 20 gifted memberships here today on the channel. That's a big one. I think it's the most gifted here on the channel, and of course it gets to support the channel. We will be back, guys, tomorrow, every day, 4 o'clock UK time streams, talking about Manchester United, and soon transfer news is going to start picking up. So you can find that here. This week we have a call-in show. We will have a call-in show. Members get priority to call in. I want to hear your thoughts about the season and FA Cup predictions. We will have a FA Cup stream ahead of the big one next week with Hamza, Manchester City fan. We will have a stream with Marcel as well this week where we're going to reflect on the season, talk about a bit of stuff. It'll be like a little therapy session, I think. And we'll have a stream as well where we're going to revisit my predictions at the beginning of the season and just laugh. That's all we can do. That's all we can do. You guys know what it is. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. We are back with the Twitch streams this summer. Link in the bio of this video, guys. Go over and follow me on Twitch. I'm not that far off from 100. Follow me on Twitch. We're going to do a lot of gaming streams there. Assassin's Creed is coming out soon, so I need to finish the other one. We've got WWE streams, EAFC streams, Call of Duty streams, all of that stuff. A lot of gaming content now with the league coming to an end. Big up to everyone. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. I'm off to watch Bridgerton. You guys know what it is. I'm out. Hit the like button on your way out, guys. Peace.